Welcome back. Well, as you can see on the screen, it's been a very volatile expiry day and it continues now. The Bank Nifty is back below 29,400 and the Nifty is back to 12,900. So that will happen. JSW Steel is now the top gainers. Metals have done well. So fresh 52-week high for JSW Steel. Adani Ports, by the way, which was our momentumizer this morning, is also at high point of the day. Sandeep Shah is joining us, managing partner at Motilal Oswal Private Wealth Management. Sandeep, hi, good afternoon. So, all-time high is done, and the last move is led by financials. Now, metals also joining in the party. What's your portfolio approach now at these levels?
So it's been an incredibly stupendous period for the market since March, those that happened. We've of course had a heady cocktail of some economic reform, an exceptionally good earnings quarter where we've seen significant earnings upgrades after a very long time, where for us, the earnings upgrades to downgrades is in the ratio of 4:1. I can't remember the last time we saw something like that. Also, while we are seeing COVID cases increasing globally, I think increasingly markets have come, and I think also governments have come to terms with the fact that a complete shutdown it doesn't really help, and to that extent, the market is in that sense. To that extent able to ignore the rising COVID cases, saying that at best you might see night curfews or perhaps some discretionary consumption like restaurants or pubs, some of those getting shut. So in this context, given that if you were to look at forward earnings, we are probably close to about 21 times. On market cap to GDP, we are probably close to 90%. So that's about 10% higher than the long-term average. On a price to book basis also, I think we are probably marginally higher. So no cause for actually panic from that perspective. This could well continue to be just the beginning of a long-term bull market. The last pandemic in 1918 laid the seeds for a multi-year bull market in the US, in which we called it the Roaring Twenties. Unfortunately, of course, that ended in a bubble and therefore the Great Depression. But I think to put it in context that, a bull market, a new bull market is always born in the seeds from a bear market. But having said that, given that stocks have already run up, if you're overweight equities or, then perhaps this is the time to raise a little bit of cash. On the other hand, if you're still underweight equities, obviously this is not the time to jump in right away, but to stagger your inflows and over the next say 6 months or so. And by that time we would have seen the winter, the northern hemisphere winter, and what impact it actually has on the economy, and whether we see any shutdowns or any other further scares. So cautiously positive, but not the time to get carried away. And within that, of course, I think you've got to be very selective with large caps, which have rallied. But I think small and mid caps, I think, are still providing a fair amount of value. And multi caps, so selectively large caps and mid and small caps is where you want to stagger your inflows.
Sandeep, good afternoon and thanks for joining us on the show. So let me ask you the logical follow-up. Then in mid caps, what are the themes that excite you at the moment? What are you looking at?
So, I think mid and small caps typically, you always want to play them, stock specific, because it's not so easy to generalize. Having said that, obviously sectors where there is more long-term structural tailwinds, like IT, which seems to be on the throes of a new technology cycle with increasing spend on cloud as well as digital. So IT stocks is where you could look at that. So in mid caps, if you're doing thematically, you wanna look at those. Obviously, you want to stay on quality businesses and so on, but you want to see where there is some tailwind for the sector. So similarly, you could look at, say, healthcare from that perspective. Within financials, I would probably not want to look at mid and small caps unless there are some really strong exceptional plays. In far as the banks are concerned and financials are concerned, I would prefer to be with the larger names. And similarly with, say, insurance or capital market businesses or even the telecom guys. I think a lot of these companies you want to stay with the long term, but there always are, individual pockets, great management with great business models, very good return ratios, cash flow management you can trust. Those kind of companies you can certainly play. Those could be could be plays on the rural sector. They could be plays on the consumer discretionary side, and of course, and if you can find a structural, long-term value migration story, where it could be value migrating from anywhere, from the unorganized to the organized sector, or from public to the private sector, or from high-cost manufacturing to low-cost manufacturing countries like India, like as in IT and healthcare, then I think one would be comfortable with those as well. Selectively, you could look at some FMCGs in mid and small cap, whereas as a sector, I'd probably be more neutral on FMCG, but, some of the smaller companies perhaps have some relative value there. And within that, of course, some of the PSUs are also trading at very good dividend yield. Of those yesteryear large caps are today mid caps. So, some good quality PSUs with a good dividend yield and hopefully some earnings growth as well. Those are probably the sectoral brush that I would give on mid caps.
Okay, got it. Now, you're saying you're selectively positive on high quality PSUs. What would those mean? Say names like SBI, ONGC. What kind of PSUs would be interesting to you?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you that, perhaps the largest PSU bank, the largest, oil producer in the country, or some of the large power utilities. I think a lot of these companies have reasonable earnings growth. Some of them are incredibly cheap. Some of them are trading at, less than 5 times forward earnings, and not all of them, just one of them. And the others also are trading at very, very, very attractive price to book. Some of them even at a discount to price to book, with a steady dividend yield and some visibility of earnings growth as well. So I think that makes a very, interesting combination. And, I would like to reiterate something that I had mentioned last time on your show, that, the ownership in some of these PSUs is actually at a 10-year low. And from a contrarian perspective, for somebody who's looking for value, especially in a market that's run up, doesn't want to compromise on quality, doesn't want to compromise on, possible corporate governance issues, I think that's a safe place to be hunting.
Okay, all right. Sandeep, so let's talk about some of the PLI plays as well, because there's been a lot of talk on it in the recent past, whether it's API or electronic manufacturers, contract electronics, mobiles like Amber, Dixon, etc. What kind of valuation expansion is still possible in this space?
I think some of these companies have actually perhaps priced in growth for the next couple of years. And I think in some cases we might be forced to look at a period of stagnation, if not a possible correction in case the numbers don't live up to expectations. So I think I would be far more cautious there, and would really look for stories where it's not really priced in. And therefore perhaps while you might find it perhaps more on the API side rather than the electronics manufacturing, because you don't have so many companies on the electronic side in terms of outsourcing plays which hasn't got factored in. But there also, I think I would perhaps while I would of course necessarily be selective, but perhaps I might actually look for some short-term disappointments to enter if I really wanted to be in that space. I think you've really got to find something which has a margin of safety. And some of these names actually don't really give you that margin of safety. And I would also like to add that, on the API side, of course, there has been some amount of, inventory stocking up even at the retail consumer end. And to some extent, we've of course seen companies wanting to migrate and actually have a second supplier from India in addition to China. And part of that could be, a story that continues to play out. But I think you've got to be a little careful here and cautious here, and you can't just say that I want to play the PLI story and I'm going to buy these 5 names. Perhaps that's not the way to do it.
Okay, we'll leave it there today. Sandeep, thanks a lot for joining us. By the way, the 3 p.m. move played out, and how, just look at Nifty right now.